Hello and thank you for joining us at Plasma Faith Physics Chapter 23. True Patron Saints. We will begin at page 232. To discuss the human condition and the efforts of the United Nations ambassadors to provide a transitional premise for dialogue that would bring about world peace. What good does goodness serve humanity when it remains silent in a cowardice refrain or conservative posture? While gluttons gain with choices out of false fear that provoke hollow bravery, and pretentious gates that present in stage distractions a Hamlet theater, resulting in an end favorable to evil and tragedy. Who is this fool that they will play as a card, or which people or nation will fall to this game of manipulation? Which central intelligence will be advocated to promulgate and perpetuate once again the cause for the illusion of promise, dreams, and hopes? What false figure of deity will we place so that the state may make a legal accusation against, in the name of purity of the law and state? Which is more pure, the law of the church? Which is more pure, the law of the church? Where has there ever been a significant difference between the two? And when has it been possible that humanity, or thereof the powers that govern them, determine that the laws of the Holy Christian Church are below the laws of the state? Will it be advocated with the media, debates that quarrel demanding change from greedy Republicans and careless Democratic liberals? Will it be advocated and accepted that by such a method a mechanism will invent a transitional phase that will sift out those minor special interest groups and impose an ethics barrier that creates laws benefiting the super rich? Is it not true that the laws of the state have also been defined and created by the precepts and fundamental beliefs of the laws of the church? If a leader of the country or state commits a crime or offense against the law, should it not be right that the church be able to also judge the offender? When has it been a right that the church not be able to have an equal power to judge offenders, while the letter or the language of the laws of law be devised and born from the faiths and doctrines of the church? Which laws, precepts, ideologies, faiths, beliefs are there that are not created or defined by the faiths and beliefs of the church? Who shall litigate morality among the scholars, citizens, and those who mitigate? What order of concepts do best define what is good and virtuous for human behavior? Virtues that foster the laws are not intrinsic in its values, nor do they contain high inherent values found in virtuous origins. We therefore by practice become hypocrites to the truth and the true purpose of the law. I trust that a great deal of societal laws and order manifested during the market trade, exchanging between ancient Greece and Egypt, during the enslavement of lamenting Jews, while true goodness may be stifled and masqueraded by self-interest groups, whose sophisticated individuals oppose these righteous who need decisive law. Their dreams and ideas are lost to the service for tyrannical oversight, control, and profit, secretly collecting data from intelligent, educated, and savvy public-speaking citizens whose ideas and dreams are always at the tips of their tongues. It's an ongoing process for big screen producers, picture writers, TV series, reality shows, and comedies that very few are aware about. The public free speech arena has become the hunting ground for profit-seeking humanists, searching for a chance to steal another person's dream. Fear thee, O humanity, when more than the state, the powers of the globe, the wills of greed, science and technology must override the decision-making of morality. Fear thee, O humanity, fear thee, all humanity, when more than the state, the powers of the globe, the wills of greed, science, and technology must override the decision-making of morality and its moral conduct. What values will we give to value, and what will we decide that will represent virtue and qualities that will motivate humanity to procreate, persevere, succeed, believe, hope, prosper, dream? Will our government become, with the attained wisdom of the Church, deceived to spite, to the extent only to falsely accept that dreaming and hoping or needing faith is no longer a prerequisite to comfortable living? I propose that as long as there is a need for the concept of authority and the acceptance that humanity cannot govern itself, there will always be a justification for enforcements and reminders of the law. The multi-level of bureaucracies hinder the process of progressive self-actualization, evolution of the human race, advancements of faith in one's self-abilities, self-perpetuation, edification, and perpetuation of integrities of the human race, the feeling of freedom, the right of the pursuit of happiness, the reality of experiencing one's own freedom, and the displacement of human awareness in time and place. So where are the winners or heroes of our time? And what services have they provided? And how well have we been grateful for their sacrificial offerings of self, time, and heart? Who in these times really cares? There are so many icons that in the makings of screenplays and written choreographies perfect the active parts of what they in their lifetimes could never truly muster or even claim to be a part of in their real-time life. We, however, enthusiastically enticed ourselves with the idea that icons can actually live these lives for us while we accept enslavement in the ever-so demanding machine of time and money. The union classes are deemed the hoodlums of the state while they enforce behaviorisms of socialism and communistic referendums, and mitigations as weapons of choice against greedy corporate officials who are focused more on the gaining of profits rather than the financial, moral, human integrity of the working class. Once again, mechanisms that serve envy, gluttony, and greed are at the vanguard against the failings of the expendable and forgotten humans. Always yielding to homogeneous uniform ideologies, the union will compromise and become the tool that will peel away the last integral dignities of the freedom and rights to liberty from the human race. All people treated equally without disregard for their freedoms and rights will be intrinsically redefined and reclassified as a people that must think and behave the same to glorify a purposeful need so that the rewards of financial funding may be allocated to them by the senators and congresses in power. Each one in their sufferings and losses or losses must be justified and commemorate as a collective body, and that one in all has in itself experienced a justifiable event requiring compensation and judiciary mitigated funding. I propose that while this is no wrong, it can very well be defined as a deceitful evil that invokes favorable support while lacking in its secure resolve for dispensing justifiable aid and assistance toward unique cases requiring real financial restitution and moral restoration. The feeling of being free remains only that, and never becomes a reality of liberty because of the cultural corruption in social politics and filibustering of lobbyists. These people give no regard to the fine lines of legality because they sit mounted up above the venue, disciplines, virtues, and mandates of morality. The truth is only what they say it is, and the implementation and execution of the truth only accommodates the financial languages and exploitative cultures of profit-seeking extremism. Expendable and forgettable are the heroes of our nation, but the human resource remain unworthy of the media mention, and their rights are simply swept under the cloaks of political deceit. Merging an industry with another industry in effort to compete with a single foreign industry redefines and grossly underclasses the merit of both merging industries. The merging of an industry will only serve as propagation for self-destruction and elimination of that industry's human resource, internal corporate culture, and the nation's pride and promise. Merging industries are analogous to merging companies and will produce the same disastrous economic results. Where lays the hope of human labor? Whether foreign or domestic, is within the moral virtues of spiritual faith that defends and defines human integrity, human rights, liberty, and human civility. We must heed warning and resist greed from tempting corporations, investors, investment bankers, policy writers, and lawmakers who do without humanity and human labor rights. And this chapter is specifically designed for ambassadors representing the United States, ambassadors representing the world and the United Nations in efforts to mitigate world peace or peacekeeping and feeding the hungry and creating the resiliency